King Solomon is one of the most fascinating figures in history and biblical lore. Born to King David and Bathsheba, Solomon rose to the throne of Israel around the 10th century BCE and became a ruler whose fame transcended borders. His name is often associated with wisdom, wealth, and monumental achievements, making him a central figure in the annals of ancient history. The Bible describes Solomon as a man blessed by God with unparalleled wisdom. When asked what he desired most, Solomon requested wisdom to govern his people justly. Pleased with his humility, God not only granted him wisdom, but also immense wealth, influence, and peace during his reign. Under Solomon's rule, Israel experienced a golden age of prosperity. One of his most notable accomplishments was the construction of the first temple in Jerusalem, a magnificent sanctuary dedicated to the worship of God. He also authored profound works, including Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and the Song of Solomon, which continue to inspire readers with their insights on life, morality, and faith. Yet, despite his many accomplishments, Solomon's personal life was marked by controversy. His decision to marry 700 wives and maintain 300 concubines has puzzled and intrigued scholars and readers for centuries. What drove him to take so many partners, and what can we learn from his story? The sheer number of Solomon's wives and concubines may seem excessive by modern standards, but in the context of ancient times, such practices were not uncommon among kings. Monarchs often used marriages as tools for political and diplomatic purposes, and Solomon was no exception. Many of Solomon's marriages were to foreign princesses, strategically chosen to strengthen alliances with neighboring kingdoms. These unions helped ensure peace, foster trade, and expand Israel's influence. For example, Solomon's marriage to Pharaoh's daughter cemented a powerful alliance with Egypt, one of the dominant nations of the time. Similarly, marriages to princesses from Moab, Ammon, Edom, Sidon, and other nations were likely motivated by a desire to create a web of political stability around Israel. In addition to their political utility, these marriages also served as symbols of Solomon's power and wealth. In ancient cultures, a king's harem was a visible demonstration of his resources and dominance. By maintaining a vast number of wives and concubines, Solomon showcased his ability to provide for many, reinforcing his status as a powerful and prosperous ruler. While Solomon's wives were primarily tied to political alliances, his concubines had a different role in his court. Concubines were secondary partners, often chosen for their beauty or connections to influential families. In a time when producing heirs was vital for securing dynastic continuity, concubines played an essential role in expanding the royal lineage. Solomon's 300 concubines likely contributed to his strategy of maintaining influence and securing loyalty from various tribes and nations. By forming bonds with families across Israel and neighboring regions, Solomon ensured that his reign was supported by a broad network of allies. Furthermore, the presence of concubines in Solomon's court reflected the norms of ancient monarchies, where large harems were seen as markers of a king's wealth and capability. However, this practice also brought challenges, as the complex dynamics of maintaining such relationships added to the pressures of his reign. Despite the political and cultural benefits of his marriages and concubines, Solomon's personal choices had significant spiritual repercussions. The Bible explicitly warns against Israel's kings marrying foreign women, fearing that their influences could lead the king astray from the worship of God. Unfortunately, this is exactly what happened to Solomon. 1 Kings 11:4-8 reveals that Solomon's foreign wives turned his heart away from God. Over time, he began to worship their gods, including Ashtoreth, Chemosh, and Molech. These actions directly violated the covenant between God and Israel, leading to severe consequences. God, who had blessed Solomon abundantly, was angered by his disobedience. As a result, God declared that the kingdom would be torn apart after Solomon's death. This prophecy came to pass when the United Kingdom of Israel was divided into two: the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. Solomon's spiritual compromise serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of losing sight of one's principles. Despite his immense wisdom, he allowed his personal relationships to undermine his devotion to God, leading to devastating consequences for himself and his people. Solomon's story is filled with irony. He is celebrated as the wisest man in history, yet his personal life is riddled with examples of poor judgment. How could a man who wrote profound proverbs about discipline, faithfulness, and the fear of God make such unwise choices in his own life? This paradox highlights an important truth about wisdom. Possessing knowledge and applying it are two very different things. Solomon's wisdom was evident in his governance and his writings, but he struggled to apply the same discernment in his personal relationships. His story reveals the limits of human wisdom and the dangers of hubris. Solomon's failure to heed God's commandments, despite his wisdom, underscores the importance of humility and faithfulness. It also serves as a reminder that even the greatest among us are not immune to temptation and error. Despite his flaws, Solomon left an indelible mark on history. His reign ushered in a period of peace and prosperity for Israel, and his achievements in architecture, literature, and governance remain unparalleled. The First Temple stood as a testament to his vision and dedication to God, even as his later actions fell short of that commitment. Solomon's writings, such as Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and the Song of Solomon, continue to offer timeless wisdom and insights. They remind us of the complexities of life, the pursuit of meaning, and the importance of living with integrity. However, his story is also a cautionary tale. It warns against the dangers of excess, the consequences of compromise, and the perils of neglecting spiritual discipline. Solomon's life teaches us the importance of balance, balancing wisdom with humility, power with responsibility, and ambition with faithfulness. Ultimately, Solomon's story invites us to reflect on our own lives. How do we use the gifts and opportunities we've been given? Do we remain faithful to our principles, or do we allow external influences to lead us astray? In the end, Solomon's legacy is a mix of triumph and tragedy, a reminder of both human potential and human frailty. Closing King Solomon's life is a fascinating study of contrasts. He was a man of unparalleled wisdom, yet he struggled with personal flaws that led to his downfall. His story is one of greatness tempered by caution, urging us to seek wisdom not only in leadership, but also in our personal choices. Solomon's journey reminds us that true success lies not only in what we achieve, but in how we live, love, and remain faithful to our values.